Galactus made Gambit his Herald, he'd fucking—
Well, they did try to backstab him almost immediately, so yes, What If Gambit Became a Herald of Galactus has officially come out. Actually, it came out a little bit ago, but it's been a busy month, guys. Anyway, the story picks up right after the events of Mutant Massacre, where Gambit was tricked into massacring some mutants. Only in this timeline, he's immediately whisked away by Galactus, who wants him to be his new Herald. Now, this is before Gambit joins the X-Men or has any real superhero adventures, so why does Galactus want this random Cajun man to be his Herald? Simple, he needs someone to steal a planet. King of Thieves, baby. Anyways, Remy could not care less about this, but does recognize that good old G-Man could probably give him enough of a boost to get vengeance on this whole situation. So he talks real nice, accepts the power-up, the responsibility of being a herald, then dips almost immediately after. Your classic wham bam thank you cosmic being. Now Galactus doesn't take betrayal lightly and sends an entire army to go retrieve him, but it turns out kinetic energy and the power cosmic make for quite the lethal combination. We see he's even able to charge his own hand to give him a more explosive punch. But it is ultimately not enough to challenge Galactus because it is Galactus. So he does end up working for him and sets out to retrieve this planet from who else but the Collector. Gambit crashes his party, does some usual heist antics, shows off another cool power-up where he taps his foot and sends a charge to those robots over there, and eventually finds what he's looking for, a miniature version of Galactus' homeworld, Ta. Only the Collector isn't quite willing to part with it. So the two have it out, and to be honest, it's not a very close fight. As this version of Gambit doesn't just charge things, he's basically the master of all kinetic energy, meaning he's able to sense all the moving pieces on the ship and blow them all up at once, essentially freeing the entire collection, and also sapping all of the kinetic energy from the Collector so he cannot move. Unfortunately, he also senses that there is absolutely no movement in this planet. It was in fact never actually Ta, but just a ruse by the Collector, for which Galactus makes him pay. This ties into the general message of the story, as Gambit says, what's lost is lost, there's no going back, but what matters is how you try to atone for what you've done. The book ends with Gambit going off into the sunset, being relieved of his duty, but keeping his cool powers. So are we going to see this version of Gambit again? I hope so. First of all, he just looks awesome. I mean, the kinetic energy trench coat, come on. But there's also just not a ton of Gambit variants. The fact that another one, who I'm sure the comments are already blowing up about, once tried to remove them all. And this one is very fun and different. He has no ties to the X-Men, he's more cosmic in scale, and his powers are different than just another new Sun or, base Gambit, but without the lobotomy. The story definitely leaves room for what comes next. The question just is, what is that going to be?